culture is very interesting. It is something that has been in my country for very long, even though you don't see it much these days. I'm so happy to be making this dish today because you hardly get it vegetarian. It is the Nyonya Laksa, which is by default a curry-based noodles, and they are so delicious. You have to try them at least before you get old. Yup. Penang Laksa, right? People think that maybe it would have been derived from Hindi, which means Laksha. Laksha is a Sanskrit word for 1,000, which is also called lakh. Otherwise, some people say it could have been derived from Chinese, in which they say Laksa, which means like spicy and sandy and gritty, and that, you know, came from the original Laksa, where prawns were sort of brown to give it that grainy, fishy taste. Fortunately, we will not be using prawns in this one. We will be using some other secret ingredients, so let's go see what they are.
First, start by making your stock. I have about 4 pieces of the black mushroom and just a few, and by few I mean a lot, of the white shimeji mushrooms. Then you just got to season it nicely with a pinch of salt and some white pepper. Most laksa is usually made with seafood, so in this case I'm going to be substituting the seafood with a vegetarian oyster sauce made of mushrooms. You'll need maybe about half to 1 tablespoon of that. Alright, so now we're going to start with the blending, and that's the most important for any type of dish like this, such as laksa. So you can always buy your own laksa paste. I got in here about 4 or 5 cloves of garlic. So I got about 3 shallots into the blender and 5 pieces of garlic, which I just roughly cut up because they're all going to be blended anyway. Galangal, about half an inch. About half a stalk of lemongrass. Remember to break it up. And if you have food scissors like me, you may use that. Just makes it easier to grind if you cut it up like this. I've got about 1 small red chili. You can always de-seed that if it's too spicy. I'm going to use half for now. And these red chilies, normally we soak that in water, but if you're a bit lazy like me, you can always afford to use it dry. It's still good. 1 more spicy ingredient to go in, and that'll be our sambal belacan. Heat up some oil and then add in your earlier prepared paste. This is what it's going to look like. Your paste is going to sizzle, and you want that to sizzle till it's fragrant. I'm going to add in a pinch of salt, but be careful, your sambal has salt. This sambal belacan I had was a vegetarian one from a vegetarian supermarket. It's made of like mushrooms and other spices which give it that umami flavor. So you're gonna mix that in and just wait until it becomes all fragrant. So you see this white stuff here, it's a sign of your stuff being cooked, but it's also not the best for the human body for the long term. Once in a while this is okay. Now you're just going to add in about 1/3 of a cup of coconut milk. And that's what gives it that really delicious flavor you're looking for. Now if you're a bit picky about that, you can always use soy milk or almond milk. Mix this in well. And we're going to start to add in our vegetables at this point. I have these leftover mushrooms from my broth. It's always the best not to discard your vegetables. I have some water spinach, which we call kangkong in Malay. It's that, and it's gonna reduce when you cook it. You have some nice bean sprouts, crunchy and full of protein. And for fun, we got tofu puffs. Now people add meat and fish to their laksa. But since we're vegetarian, we're doing a vegetarian laksa. We're gonna add tofu puffs, and you can always add in your mock meats such as mock prawn or mock fish. And then once this is done, you're ready to add in your noodles. You're gonna cover this up and cook it till all the flavors infuse well and the vegetables get this delicious texture. I've already blanched these noodles in some water, hot water, so that it cooks a bit before you add it in. I have about 50 grams of yellow noodles and about 50 grams of rice noodles. Whatever noodles you like. If you get the authentic laksa noodles, that's the best. Now after you're done with this, give it about 5 minutes, cover it up and let it cook so that the flavors infuse. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna add this straight into your plate. Those beautiful noodles, veggies, tofu puffs, all in a great sauce. I'm gonna plate this up nicely. Now what you need is a few laksa leaves on top. Garnish them, put them all over, and to top it all off, you'll need a lemon. Usually this is a calamansi lime, a small little green lime, which tastes so good with Asian food. But the thing is, I didn't have that on hand, so we're just gonna go with this, and now you just serve it up and eat it.
Today's recipe has shown that vegetarian dishes can come a little bit close in taste and texture to non-veg dishes, but they still taste like really, really good. My father used to be a non-vegetarian. He loved this laksa. I read on the internet one time that a lot of animals considered seafood are treated inhumanely before the whole process, and it makes me very sad normally to read about that. So it makes me even happier to come up with a recipe that makes a difference to them and somewhat gives a similar taste, fragrance. So I do hope you would try this recipe and comment on how it is. It's seriously worth a try, at least before you get old. Trust me on this one. So thank you so much for watching me and learning this recipe with me. Stay happy, stay healthy, and stay blessed.